Well, folks, this press conference, I guess you'd have to be a little Looney Tunes to listen to 2 hours plus of a lot of rambling, sometimes incoherent, a lot not making sense, and you wonder what world was Joe Biden in that he was trying to. The spin was unbelievable, but the sad part about it is he might even think what he was saying was true. But again, um, no wonder. Now we're seeing why those around Biden want to keep him away from the press, want to hide him away. That's why during the election, when he was running for president, that he spent more time in the basement than getting out and actually campaigning. And now you see the results and things that he was saying about, hey, Vlad, it's okay. Just if you're going to I know you're going to incur, there's going to be an incursion in Ukraine, but just take a small snippet. That's all. You know, the welcome mat. Go ahead, Vlad. Ukraine, we're not going to do anything. You know, whatever happened to, a president saying, we're not taking anything off the table. We will react if this rogue government tries to go into another country. Um, Ukraine is an important a friend to United States, and we're going to stand with Ukraine, and we're not leaving anything off the table. But that's not what he said. He said, well, those Vlad, there's going to be consequences if you do it. I think you're going to, but just a little incursion, and then we'll talk. If Vladimir must have been jumping up and down, laughing like hysterically of what he heard coming out of this guy's mouth. Basically, the green light to go right in when he's ready. So you heard that. Not only that, but then Biden, as I mentioned before, talking about what a great job he's been doing with the circumstances that he was facing, and then the nerve of pushing back on the press when they were talking about what he needed to do to move this country forward. And he says, well, whenever he was pushed on things that were not going right as far as inflation, as far as the gas prices, energy prices goes. Hey, it's the GOP, it's the Republicans that are the reason why he's not being successful in those areas, or when he wants to get legislation like Build Back Better. It's the Republicans that are the roadblocks. Instead of looking at, wait a minute, if these premier legislative successes you wanted, like Build Back Better, you had it. I mean, your own party could have pushed that through. But as I mentioned before, Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin weren't going along with driving the nation further in the ditch, which the Build Back Better. I mean, really, the American people are starting to wake up and realizing Build Back Better. If you want to see inflation go even higher and everything costing even more than it is right now, pass Build Back Better, and you're sinking the United States at this point financially. because Build Back Better is nothing but another spending boondoggle that that Biden has been trying to push. And even when it came to Build Back Better, and he was pressed on, well, are you going to change gears here and move away? No, it's full steam ahead, and he's going to try and reenact or resuscitate Build Back Better. So again, we're seeing this press conference, like I said, 2+ hours, and it really, when you look at our nation, we truly are leaderless. And what he's proposing, it's you wonder. People have been saying it, whispering, is he all there? But the incoherent and the twilight zone was definitely in view when if you watched that press conference. So we have that, as I mentioned earlier too. The Democrats, another failure trying to get legislation passed to try and steal another election by trying to enact the filibuster so that they could enact their government takeover and government mandating what states can do when it comes to election law and changing election law in states. And in order for them to enact that, they needed to do away with the filibuster, so it's just a majority, and that would have got them over the hump. But as I said, Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, we're not having any of that. And really, when you think about it, all the demonization that were coming out of the GOP, Chuck Schumer and the Squad and Pelosi, all putting pressure on Joe Manchin and calling him names and chasing after Kyrsten Sinema and trying to put pressure on her, and the nerve of them saying, well, they're not voting the way we want to, they must be racist too, along with the GOP. So again, you want to say, Dems, do you really think you're going to get things passed when you start calling people in your own party racist? You really think you're going to get cooperation from people you need to get votes from? So, total disconnect there. I'd like to talk a bit about, when you talk about hypocrisy, we had this past week, CNN announced that they're hiring 3 people for a new team dedicated to covering misinformation. Now, if that isn't a joke and if that isn't funny, the king of misinformation. When you think of, let's see now, what happened to Chris Cuomo? What do you hear coming out of Don Lemon's mouth? Almost every day. When you start talking about misinformation, when you think about misinformation, CNN is all over it. So there's that. I'd like to just quickly talk about, there was the FBI kind of fell in it when this past weekend, the attack that took place in Texas on the synagogue. The FBI initially came out and said, well, this really they weren't sure what this was. It didn't look like terrorist activity. And they knew quite well what this was. And they had to, after days after that statement was made, they backtracked and said, yeah, this was a terrorist activity. And they wouldn't have got pushed there, but the UK had some information on this guy, and what he was all about, and they kind of had to change their tune. And this has been a busy week. And what I'd like us to do again is to take another look here. We're going to see a report that kind of summarize what was said and from the Biden presser here on Wednesday, and just the overview and the summary of that press conference that Joe Biden brought to us. We'll be taking a look here at Fox News panels discussing what what America and what the world heard and saw in that press conference. So this is Fox News. Here, take a look.